Morning guys, Sean here, and today I want to share with you something that I really truly feel will change the way. It's going to be a small little change in the way you think about money that will change and really open up a bunch of possibilities and opportunities for you by making this small little change. And I encourage you to test it out and see how it works for you. Recently, I was at a live marketing event in Washington a couple weeks back, and one of the speakers brought up something that was, which I found very, very interesting, and one that definitely majority of us can relate to. And it was that are we controlling our decisions? Are our decisions basically being controlled by money? Okay, and when I look back on that question, for the majority of us. And I used to be like this back two, three years ago as well. I've kind of made this little change, and it really has opened up a bunch of different opportunities and possibilities by doing that. But the majority of us make our decisions based on whether we can afford something or not. Just a quick story. I have a buddy of mine, one of my best friends. He, no matter what it is, no matter what we ask, if say, do you want to go for a play around the golf? Do you want to go out? Do you want to do whatever? The initial reaction is always, I'm not sure. I need to check. Money's tight right now. Okay, and that's common. That can be a common amongst a lot of people. Times are tough. Money is always isn't always an issue for some people. But here's the reality of this. Whether I asked him 10, if we even go back 10, 12, 15 years ago, it was always the same thing, and that was when he was single and didn't really have the same obligations that he has nowadays. But whether it was 10 years ago, 5 years ago, last year, or now, okay, it's always money's tight right now. I'm going to check on that, so we can see a kind of a pattern that's been developing during that. Okay, most recent was an opportunity this last summer. I invited him to actually go see a concert with me. It was a band he definitely wanted to see. He definitely wanted to go. He could have gotten the time off to go do that. Unfortunately, money was kind of holding him back from kind of doing what he wanted. And the sad part is that trend is going to continue for a lot of us. And I'm not here to pick on my buddy. It's not here. It's just because the majority of us are making decisions based on whether we can afford it. So it's a lot of times we're doing stuff based on can we afford it or can't we, and we're not really doing what we truly want to do. So here's what I'm going to suggest, and here's something that really did change for me when I made this change over here. Instead of saying I can't afford it. Whenever we said I can't afford something, then what happens is our mind shuts off. Okay, we just say I can't afford it. I'd like to. I can't afford it, and it shuts off, and our brain shuts off, and we just go about our regular lives. Instead, if you can make this small change and say if it's something that you really want to do, just make that change and say how can I afford this? And all of a sudden, you're going to see the difference that your mind. I know it sounds. Try it out for yourself, but all of a sudden your mind opens up to how can I afford this, and then you start going through these scenarios of saying how can I actually make this happen if I really want to do it. So let's say for some of you, I mean everyone has their own thing. I'm sure you can relate to this. You know people that do that in your life that kind of fall into this trap here. But the next time you catch yourself saying I can't afford something, take a step back, change that around and say, how can I afford it? So if let's say it's that luxury car that you want that's $400, $500 a month, and say, I can't afford it, instead say, how can I afford it? And then work on possibilities on different opportunities out there to generate, $400 or $500 monthly income. That's hopefully passive. You can build that there. And there's tons of opportunities. Right now, guys, we are blessed with the opportunity on the internet. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of different opportunities to be able to generate income online. We have a great opportunity to do that. So just something I wanted to share with you guys. Next time you say I can't afford it, just switch that around and say how can I afford it, and just see what happens. And you're going to get those creative juices going and flowing. And if it's something that you really want, then you will be, if you stick to it, you will be able to accomplish that. Something I wanted to share with you. If you like this or wanted, I would love to hear your comments. Share, comment below, and I'll talk to you in the next video.